Let's talk about the moment that New York Knicks beat the Sacramento Kings, but Kevin Knox got a rebound, a defensive rebound, and then dunked it in. If you were in Ujiri's position, would you have gone, or would you go to the Knicks? Welcome back to the MVP podcast. My name is B-Man and I'm here with Sosa with the sauce, Sacramento Kings fan. How are you feeling? You finally have a winning record, half a game away from playoff contention.
Aye, bruv.
Yeah, boy.
We got it in us. We got it in us.
No, you don't.
We got it in us.
No, you don't.
Playoffs
No,
2020.
you don't. No, you don't. If anytime the announcer says Harrison Barnes, your guys should just be like, sugar. That's what
First and foremost, yeah, because we're going to talk about it. I know we lost to the Knicks, yeah. Let's just move past that right now, yeah. Let's just move past that.
Do you know what?
Let's just jump into it.
Let's not jump into it, yeah. Let me go back to what I was talking about last week, right? I said, oh, you guys are just as bad as the New York Knicks, and you got very offended, right? So it took me a while to realize why the hell was he offended, as if to say Sacramento haven't been trashed for the longest. But then I realized that you were talking about the current squads.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the current squads, you're right. There's no comparing. I was just talking about like the last 10, 15 years by the way they were run by the front office. Dude, they've been run exactly the same. The only difference is Vlad father finally made some good decisions in the last few years. Yeah, that's the only difference.
We were missing some sort of leadership up top, which we finally got. Yeah. Unlike some teams.
And Marvin Bagley III came back.
You know what? Yeah, I keep hearing that song, that Hallelujah song, and it says, "And the Baffling Kings took Bagley over." And like, it still gets me.
Do you know? I don't know why Marvin Bagley is not called Trey Bagley.
There'd be a lot of Treys in the league if he was called Trey Bagley.
Yeah, but his parents wouldn't have known when he was born.
True.
But because the third, same with Trey Young, his first name's got nothing to do with Trey. Nothing. Yeah. It's just because he's the third of his name.
Same with, we've got another third in our team. Harry Giles.
Giles the third.
So
you could have had Trey Giles and Trey Bagley. Anyway, you know what? I don't even understand why we are giving Sacramento Kings so much time.
I told you, let's move on. You wanted to go back to this point.
Okay, anyway, we're going to talk about the Knicks.
The Knicks.
New York.
Concrete jungle where dreams are made of.
Let's not make people bleed in the ears right
listen, we get a copyright strike for being too like them, man. I got that.
It's just so long. I'm not Alicia Keys. So long I'm not Alicia Keys. I am okay. Anyway, let's talk about the Big Apple. Let's talk about Madison Square Garden. Let's talk about the moment that New York Knicks beat the Sacramento Kings, but Kevin Knox got a rebound, a defensive rebound, and then dunked it in.
Well, that just sums them up, doesn't it?
That is like, if there's ever a clip that tells you what New York is about right now, it's just that one clip. That defensive rebound and the dunk.
You know what, yeah, I think Santana, he coined it best when he called Madison Square Garden Madison Square Garbage.
That is the name. That is the name. But what are the problems? What are the issues right now with...
Well, you can look at it in stages, in different sections. You can look at what they bring into the floor, like the plays they've got.
Yeah.
The team is just a mess.
Yeah.
Like, they've got a bunch of point guards. They've got a guard in RJ Barrett.
Yep.
They've got a small forward in Kevin Knox.
Yep.
They've got a bunch of power forwards.
And
then they've got a center in Mitchell
Robinson,
which is like, it's so unbalanced.
Yeah. The
team just doesn't make sense.
It is.
It doesn't make sense.
Even their record right now, they stand at 6-20. And them alongside Atlanta Hawks, alongside Cleveland Cavaliers, they're not the worst in the league, surprisingly. They're not the worst in the league, surprisingly. Golden State Warriors have got that. But they fight Dave Fitzgerald. Unsurprisingly and surprisingly both at the same time, because I am looking at that thinking, well, what the hell did you want my brother to do? What is my brother meant to do? How is he meant to take this team full of garbage and take him into the playoffs? Like, for real.
Again, this is like the next level of like, I don't want to say the word, but it's like a layer cake.
Yeah.
You see that film Layer Cake?
Yeah.
There's different layers. then you got to talk about the coach. The coach, it's his job to try and field a team that is winnable. How he's going to do that when the GM is not allowed? Either they've got to make a decision. Either they're going to try and make for the playoffs, or they're actually going to try and develop youth.
Yeah,
they did neither.
Let me use one of your lines or one of your words. Right? They weren't on the same trajectory. They weren't on the same trajectory, lad. So you've got the front office who went and made signings that made people believe that they were going to try and at least be slightly competitive. And then you've got a coach that really wants to think about the future. Although some of his decisions were questionable, but I believe that his hands were tied behind his back, and that's why it ended up leading to that divorce, which is, I genuinely believe that if he wanted to stay, he would have lasted longer. But I don't think his heart was in it because there's no clear direction from where they were meant to go. What, are we thinking about the future? Well, if we're thinking about the future, can we get the hell younger? If not, why have I got 1-year contract guys trying to fight for another contract? They are not going to play system basketball. They're going to play hero basketball.
Exactly.
They want to get paid.
And when you have a coach where his job's always going to be on the line.
Yeah.
And if you don't give him reassurances, this is going to be a development year. Just make sure you get these young guys to develop. Then he's going to have pressure on him to win games, which is going to force him to play guys who have got experience and that are able to play and, potentially get more points. So I don't blame him for playing the plays that he had because he felt like if he doesn't do what he can to try and win a game, then he could be out the next game.
Yeah.
So I don't blame Fizdale for that. But at the same time, like, you should have just told them straight, look, we need to actually start playing these youth. Considering to know where you're going, you need to know where you've been.
Yeah.
Look at the teams that they had before. Like, they didn't just happen to be in a situation just by chance. They had a young player in Kristaps Porzingis who was their franchise cornerstone, and they had guys around him. They just brought in Kevin Knox, who happened to be like the worst player in the league at the time. Obviously,
he's really bad.
But again, it was circumstance because Kristaps was injured. You knew that it was just a development year, and that was totally fine. They were okay to tank because it's like, you know what, we're bringing something about. But then they traded him. They traded Kristaps
for a bigger picture. Again,
to know how they got to this situation, you have to look back. They traded Kristaps to get rid of salary for
nothing. I agree with you, but there's another way that I like to look at it. Is New York Knicks, which is the biggest franchise in the whole league, even bigger than the Lakers, financially anyway, financially bigger than the Lakers, right? They took a massive swing and they missed. But the way that I'm looking at it from a different perspective is, well, if you are going to gamble on Kevin Durant, gamble on Zion Williamson, gamble on Kyrie, as opposed to having teams that are, and I'm sorry to mention, like, let's say like Sacramento Kings, who have a star in De'Aaron Fox, who have a star in Marvin Bagley III, then go and sign Harrison Barnes.
Well, here's the thing.
Like, I do not mind that massive swing if they want to accelerate, because you have to bear in mind, New York Knicks have had 3 winning seasons in 2 decades.
Yeah, it's terrible.
3 winning seasons in 2 decades. At some point, massive risks have to be taken, and they took one, and although it set them back massively, obviously now you're looking at it thinking, oh, that hurts so much. But in hindsight, like, look, they just wanted to splash big because they thought that their market was going to attract the big players. They had a rude awakening, and now they realize that that's not the way to go anymore because players do not want to be.
You know what's funny? You talked about they took a swing. How about they went up to the pitch? They didn't even swing. Like, those rumors where obviously everyone was expecting Kevin Durant to go to the Knicks. Everyone was expecting that. But when he tore his Achilles and he was out for the rest of the playoffs, they hesitated on signing him. They were like, you know what? Maybe it's not a good idea to sign him. And at that point, you kind of knew he's already, his head was now thinking, I'm going Brooklyn. I'm going to link up with Kyrie. Yeah. So the fact that they hesitated and it wasn't like it was a case of they told him we're thinking about it. Yeah. It was kind of a feeling that, you know what? We're not going to be interested if it's going to be another year tanking.
Yeah.
We want something that we can build with now, that we can take to next season.
What Brooklyn Nets had.
And Brooklyn Nets have decided, you know what, we'll take him even if he's injured, and we'll have him sit out for the year.
Again,
they've took a swing at the long play. They've seen the bigger picture, but the The Knicks can't see what's in front of their faces. They can't see what's in front of their faces. I feel bad for Knicks fans, man. I really do. I feel sorry for you guys, man.
I wouldn't feel that bad for them, because even though they are arguably playing one of the worst basketball they've played in the last...
the most expensive tickets in the NBA.
Yeah, but that's because the atmosphere there is something else.
But look what they're watching.
King of the fourth quarter said he went to 2 New York Knicks games and a bunch of Chicago Bulls games, and he goes, even with that terrible roster that didn't have Kristaps Porzingis, that had Kevin Knox trying to run the offense, he goes, it's booming. And I can say that from personal experience. I went to watch them. It is loud. Like, the Knicks fans are something else. And I think it doesn't matter how bad they are. They got so much pride in them to be from New York that they're going to back him anyway. That's where Dolan comes in. That's where he has to reciprocate and say, well, look, we've got diehard fans. We need to do something for them. Even if it means, instead of signing superstars first, signing stars.
Yeah.
Or, like, signing the ones that are just about all-stars. And maybe the aim is, can we, instead of jump into the top straight away, well, why don't we just slowly pick up all the right players, and then people will want to come to us eventually because we are now officially winning again. And maybe that's probably the best route.
We're getting higher and higher on that layer cake now.
Yeah.
We're getting to near it's supposed to be the cream on top. This ain't no cream on top.
Listen, the cream is at the top of the mountain, bro. There's a lot of climbing to do. That's Mount Snowdon right there.
And it's his decision that's allowed what are the names again? Perry and
is his name Perry?
And Steve Mills.
Yeah, Steve Mills is the
he's allowed them to continue. They had a couple of winning seasons.
3 in 20 years.
Well, they had a couple of winning seasons.
And bearing in mind, 2 of them were like 42 and 39.
I think,
or 42 and 40.
I think they got a 50-win season.
Yeah, once. That was with Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, and that's when they make the was it the conference final?
People fail to realize, right? Everyone says, well, Carmelo Anthony could never do nothing. Do you know when you statistically look at that team? Carmelo Anthony averaged about 28 points per game. The next highest was like 15.
Yeah. I mean, it was with D'Antoni, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so. Or it could have, was Mike Woodson.
Mike Woodson. But even still, like, they had something, and I understand, obviously, there was injuries that were involved. They had, terrible luck with that. But even after that, the GM and the president, after that, it's like they've been sailing on that coattail for the longest.
Yeah.
They've not done anything to try and, well, they have, but everything they've done has failed. So if you're going to keep doing it, and keep failing, surely the guys, or at least the guy at the top, is going to be like, you know what, yeah, I'm sick of failing. Let's do something.
There must be something. There must be like, they must have something.
This guy's going to be sat with his band playing some jazz music. That's what he does, man.
Bro, they must have.
He's not doing anything to benefit the team.
Yeah.
And kicking fans out the stadium for saying, yo, sell the team. Come on, man.
But do you know what? Talking about selling teams, first of all, he'll never sell his team because he has no need to, because he's always making a profit regardless, right? It's always being sold out. It's kind of like in football, or for the Americans in soccer, it's kind of like Manchester United. It don't matter how bad the team is. The Manchester United it's a global team. People fly halfway across the country to come and go to Old Trafford, especially from like Far East Asia.
Yeah,
and the New York Knicks, like it's the same. You want to go to Madison Square Garden, but can you remember a few years ago when the 76ers were going through the whole process and Sam Hinkie tried to, and bless him.
Just the process.
He just had the wrong, and had they given him 2 more years, then his whole vision would have come to fruition, right?
Yeah.
But because they were that bad and they were that irrelevant and their attendances were dropping dramatically, they got rid of Sam Hinkie. The league got rid of Sam Hinkie and replaced him with Colangelo.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're going to do the same to New York, considering how big of a franchise they are? Or are they content knowing that they're still filling out the stadium?
I mean, the only time that the league has got rid of an owner was Sterling.
Yeah.
And that was because of some...
breach of contract, yeah.
Because he's technically...
No, they can't get rid of him because Hinkie wasn't the owner. I'm talking about the GM.
The GM?
Yeah.
Well,
do you think they'll step in and say, do you know what, you're doing a poor job, get the hell out. We'll replace with someone that will, in the meantime, do a better job?
I mean, for the sake of the Knicks, I hope they do get replaced. I really hope they do get replaced. Like, and I don't, like, Stephen A. Smith talks about, there being black GMs, and like it's very rare. And like I get it. Like obviously I want them to succeed. I want them to do I want them to have the best. But at the same time, man, like if you're not doing a good, like even if you were doing an okay job, that's fair. You're not even doing an okay job. Like at this point now, you're doing really badly. Like, and if you're doing badly at your job, doesn't matter who you are, no matter what race you are, you need to get replaced at this point. And it's unfair for the rest of the league, especially with a team doing so badly and seeing a guy that's still in his position being allowed to continue.
Let me put it to you like this, right? I told you earlier that they took a massive swing and then they missed. Right? Well, let me give you a GM that took a massive swing and he succeeded.
I know where you're going.
Masai Ujiri.
Yes.
Right? Those are two storylines that went complete opposite ways just because of the fact that one executed and one didn't. Right? Yeah. What if you were in Ujiri's position, would you have gone or would you go to the Knicks?
No.
Hell yes.
No. Reason being is because he had a relationship with the owner of the Toronto Raptors and gave him a partial stake in the franchise. Yeah. And that allowed him freedom. Yeah. He won't get that at the Knicks. He won't get that at the Knicks.
But you know why I say hell yeah? Is because first of all, this guy is
he'll make perfect
cemented.
Sense.
Yeah,
don't get twisted. He makes perfect sense.
I get what you mean because I remember I asked you if you were Masai Ujiri, what would you do? So it's okay for you to say no. Yeah. But the reason why I say yes is because for one, he's already set. He's gonna go into. Can GMs go into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, why not?
Well, if GMs can go into Hall of Fame, he's going in the Hall of Fame for what he did for Toronto. First title in the history of that country in the NBA, period. It's mental. Right? If he then was to go to New York Knicks and was good, competent, winning, that is the sign that this guy is OP.
You know what? Yeah,
OP.
We should ask the guys in the comments: would Masai Ujiri be the best guy for the Knicks?
As a matter of fact, I'll put up one of those questions at the top.
Poll. Yeah,
somewhere,
put a poll.
Here,
there,
or here, or there. I don't know where to go.
There'll be an annotation.
There'll be somewhere, right? So just vote. Should Masai Ujiri sign for the Knicks?
This is for his own benefit, not for the team, but for him, for his legacy. Should he do it and ruin his legacy? That's what I'm saying.
Aye. Anyway, we're gonna have to put a stop to it there. Okay.
Yes.
I think we've gone over by a little bit, but guys, we absolutely adore you. Thank you so much for the comments. Please share, like, subscribe. Make sure you just send it to everyone.
Yes.
Send it to everyone. I'm gonna take 2 or 3 seconds just to talk about this, right? At my work, parents came in with their kids. It was kind of like a parents' evening, but slightly different. My school likes to do it a little bit different. And one of the kids came in and he said, and he always says this to me, and he goes, "Can I get a 2-time?" Yeah. And then his mom came and she was like, he's been screaming that for a good week now. And he's always watching your videos. And like, that is the type of energy that I'm looking for, bro.
Definitely.
That's the type of energy I'm looking for.
Definitely.
Man. Anyway, we're going to be back again soon. We'll keep pushing content for you guys as long as we possibly can.
Yeah, if you made it this far into the video, like it, man. What are we waiting for?
Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.
And she's sharing.
Sorry.
Sorry, Danny.